Hello, I'm going to present my second affirmative rebuttal. I will refute the following arguments made by the negative and provide reasoning for each refutation. First argument my opponent makes is he states that an abundance of energy will not solve energy poverty. My response to this is, how else are we going to resolve it then? He thinks I lose the argument because I didn't provide a solution on how the excess energy can be linked to those in energy poverty. However, the solution is obviously common sense. Grids would be put in place, and thus would allow energy for those in poverty. My opponent believes that it's going to take money for those in energy poverty to have access to modern technology. So therefore, profit is essential. Again, the statement made by my opponent is an ethical issue. We should not let people die just because it will not lead to a profit. I will admit it is going to cost money to help these people, but there are millions of people in these third world countries that would be willing to work to have a better lifestyle, and not to mention keep them from dying. Also, if we continue to let energy poverty exist, it will disable large parts of the population of the world from developing. Another argument that my opponent makes is he believes the solar panel reference is still a valid source. However, he never provides any dollar amount for placing panels on the moon. He just says it's going to be expensive. Regardless, we all know that going to the moon is going to be expensive. The HigherLearning.com states that it costs approximately $10,000 per pound of material to take to the moon. But the outcome would be worth it. My opponent argues that consequences will come from monopolizing the moon. My opponent states that issues may arise if the moon is monopolized. However, this is how the world works. There are monopolies. It's not going to stop. So therefore, I still stand by my argument that having a monopoly on helium-3 could be extremely beneficial to the U.S. And my opponent never provided any data to show that monopolies will cause any issues. Lastly, my opponent believes that harvesting body heat has potential to improve and is something that should develop and is something that we should develop instead of helium-3. He also states it would be cheaper. However, what my opponent fails to understand is that technology for harvesting body heat is limited. Using the same source as my opponent, Forbes.com, it states that a resting male can make between 100 to 120 watts of energy per day. So with that being said, even if we can access all of that energy, which by the way we cannot, it would still only be a fraction of the energy needed to meet future demands of the world. The real issue here is that my opponent is not seeing the bigger picture. He says that helium-3 should be used as an energy source, but just not right now. This is the real reason I have won the debate. My opponent has clearly shown that his alternative methods do not outweigh the possibility of helium-3 and the lunar ring. He compares them to his inferior solution called harvesting body heat, which would only make a very small amount of energy. The world needs something that is going to keep up with expansion and provide energy to the entire world for the future, so we can continue to develop and grow. Harvesting body heat will not cut it.